What do you think about being an introvert? Do you think that is something with a negative connotation? Have you ever been beating yourself up for being an introvert? Well, let me explain for you. The word personality refers to the word persona, and all it means is just the marks that the actors tend to wear before they play the act, and that's what the meaning of it. Until it is used now to explain how we react and how we perceive the world. There was a psychologist named Carl Jung who began using the terms introvert and extroverts, and sometimes it is spelled as an extrovert. Anyway, these two personality types are sort of people into how they get or spend their energy, what drives them, what inspires them, and how they prefer to spend their time, whether reflecting their own inward or maybe seek out other people to recharge. And why is this happening? Well, Young divided the people into two types: the introverts, who tend to turn to their own minds to recharge, and the extroverts who seek out other people for their energy needs. The introvert signs: you need quiet to concentrate. You are self aware. Take time making decisions. Feel comfortable alone. Feel tired if you after being in a crowd. Have a few friendships, but they are very close ones. There are neurological reasons for this. First of all, the dopamine difference. As an introvert, you tend to be more sensitive to the dopamine, which means it's just a small amount of dopamine and you are fine and satisfied. You don't seek out other people just for a rush of dopamine. Neither you would like to have an adventure or to take a decision out of the spur of a moment and just to have this rush of dopamine and adrenaline. You are not like that. Unlike the extroverts, who are less sensitive to the dopamine, and that's why they seek out other people and maybe take their decisions out of the span of a moment just to feel this rush of dopamine and adrenaline. Reason 2: you use the long acetylcholine pathway. Well, the acetylcholine is just a neurotransmitter. It's like the dopamine, responsible for the sense of pleasure and reward. Let's take a deep look about it. The first area is that the right insula. The frontal lobe of the right insula, which is associated with empathy, emotional meaning, self-reflection, and well, it is the area of the brain that notices the errors, the Broca's area. And once it was discovered, it was thought that it is the area that is responsible for sending the neural signals so that your mouth can carry out the motor openings and closing that you can pronounce the words or something like that, but it is not that. Yes, it is one of the functions of the Broca's area, but there are other functions like it brings and activates the self-talk and plans the speech. The right and the left frontal lobes. And actually, they are responsible for choose an idea or an action, select the plans, develop expectations, and evaluate the outcomes. the left hippocampus, which is actually correlated with the amygdala, and the amygdala, as we know, it is the center of the emotions. So the hippocampus is the center of the emotional and personal memory, and it stamps everything personal. The prefrontal cortex. It is the area of the brain which is associated with the abstract thinking, decision making. And after looking to the acetylcholine pathway, now it's a time for the third reason, the thicker and the longer gray matter. Actually, the neuroscience found that the introverts had longer and thicker gray matter in their prefrontal cortex, and it is the area related with the abstract thinking and decision making. Bear in mind, as I mentioned before, the acetylcholine is just related to pleasure like the dopamine and makes a person feel good when they turn inward. The final reason is that the introverts prefer a different nervous system. It's they prefer the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the rest and the digest mood and restoring a body to a calm state. The final conclusion. There is nothing wrong with being an introvert. If you are still beating yourself up for not being the life of the party as the extroverts are, then if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid.